Warning, this is not a Canadian sex comedy about saving a summer camp from becoming a shopping mall. This is, however, a story of James, his observations on life, fuel his comedic rants in everyday inconveniences, and elevate him to absurd heights. And if you have not subscribed to the YouTube Odds Ones Out that this series is spawned from, I highly recommend you do so and watch my favorite episodes super. Talking about subscribing, please high five my sub button, slap the like button, and roundhouse the bell button. As I review Oddballs, I'll throw in some fun facts. Number 1, the Odds One Out YouTube channel has 18.2 million subscribers. Okay, let's talk about the cast. James Rallison voices himself, Julian Gant is Max, Kimberly Brooks is Echo, Gary Anthony Williams is Mr. McFly, Faruolo is Stuart, and everyone is fantastically great at delivering their lines, annoyingly so. They're so good at the subtle nuances of the timing of a joke whilst delivering their lines. That of course comes down to their editing and the way each episode is positioned, but from what I get from their voice work, they've worked damn hard at producing these episodes, and I think you'll feel that emotion when it's needed, the comedy timing when it is needed, and the belly laughs, which are surprisingly there were a lot of when needed. The animation. This is what happens when a YouTuber like the Odds Ones Out gets Netflix money. It is surprising to me how much of the original character from his YouTube channel they've managed to keep. The quirky stories about the coming of age, the true story about life and what that holds within, and then embellishing that story and making it go exuberantly wrong. That is still at the forefront of what this series is, although it is a slightly different tack and we have continuing characters flowing from which each episode, and you'll get to know those characters more and more. At the core, I guess, dynamic of this is still the heart of the Odds Ones YouTube channel, or the animation of what James originally created, and I'm so glad they managed to put that in here and not lose that. The animation is still vibrant and quirky, it's still exactly like you'd expect the characters to be. If you've seen the YouTube videos, you'll know. If this is your first time round, I think you'll fall in love with the characters. It's not cheap, but it is quirky and funny. It goes from the normal style that you would expect to see, and then when there's quirky and funny moments of exploitative nature, of a moment in the theme which needs to showcase something different, the animated characters will be totally different or totally weird or do something drastic, and that I think just enhances the animation. Fact 2, James did a music video collaboration animation with Boy in a Band, and that video has hit 164 million views. It's fantastic. Let's talk about the humor. It is a U, but the young will not get all of it. They'll love the animation, but young teens and adults will laugh a lot more than you'd expect. For example, there's a Pillow Fight Club. That's a parody of the film, obviously, Fight Club. And it's so much more than that, just that one episode. There are stupid jokes, there are smart jokes, and the writing is smart at times and stupid, but all has a central premise of kind of taking a thing that we know and love, a thing that we've all experienced as human beings, and then embellishing that to the moments where it becomes ridiculous. And yet they still managed to add in the poignant moments of the moral of the story of this episode is, but not always, but most of the time it's just funny, and I think you'll find teens and adults together laughing. It's one of the animation series that I've come across that somehow has brought all boundaries together, like a Pixar film in a series, but more, I think, more wordy than a Pixar film. There's bigger words in here that I think adults will really get, and teens will ask their parents, what the hell does that word mean? At the same time, it can absolutely be silly fart jokes, and yet still funny at the same time. Very clever with the writing and the humor. Fact 3, when James originally went to pitch the show to people that you pitch shows like this to, the first time he was ready, after he had practiced it with his friends and family and another person that was pitching with him, you can go check out the full story on his YouTube channel, they outrightly said to him, no one will work with a YouTuber. Which is crazy, because if you have a look at the amount of subscribers he had, perhaps he was on 10 when he was pitching this originally. Even a small percentage, like 1 million of dedicated fans that would watch an animated series brings 1 million to your channel or whatever platform you are representing, who you're pitching to say no to that, to say no to a YouTuber, is so old world thinking that it just ground my gears.
What are you doing?
Every episode has a theme, and you have something to learn within that theme. You're laughing because the experiences that eventually end up ridiculous are probably based on something you yourself as a human or woman have experienced, and so you can relate to. So the animation is great, the score and soundtrack are fun, and the voice works fantastic, but it's the realistic themes that are funny that sealed the deal for me. It's funny and real, and if you need something to watch after watching something scary like my wife and I did, we watched a Netflix series that's coming out soon that was pretty scary at the end of one of the episodes. We needed something to relieve us, to take away the scariness so we could sleep at least that night. And then we found ourselves watching, well, at least I did, watching 2 consecutive episodes, and minutes into the first episode we watched, I was laughing. If you're a fan of James's YouTube channel, let me know your favorite animation of his and which episode of this series you like the most. It's a short, quick binge watch if you want to watch them all together, just 13 episodes, great animation. If you've seen his YouTube channel, you know what you're getting. It's just with a budget and a sort of story arc with recurring characters. You will learn things along the way about yourself and what you find funny and what your family finds funny, and also be nodding your heads going, yeah, that's totally kind of what would happen. But also I like where you reference the Fly movie here. There are things into our life that this animation series represents in the zeitgeist of the world that you will recognize, but at the same time probably just have fun with it. I'm gonna give this a solid 4 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
Got a little upset.
What would you give it? Thanks so much for watching. Here are other animated reviews for you to watch, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.